Hey everyone, Eddie Fliptronics with the Nexus 4 versus the iPhone 5. This is iOS versus Android, and the first thing I wanted to get into was the design. The Nexus 4, as far as holding it, it just seems like it's got a better feel to it. It fits in your palm nicely, while the iPhone 5 does also, but we just feel the Nexus 4 is a little bit easier to use one-handed. Other than that, we've also noticed fingerprints to tend to show up on the iPhone 5 a little bit worse than on the Nexus 4. Also, the Nexus 4 seems pretty more scratch resistant than the iPhone 5, so I guess overall design will go with the Nexus 4 being better. Obviously, you can see too the display is larger on the Nexus 4. It's got a 4.7-inch display with a resolution of 768 by 1280 pixels and 318 ppi, and the iPhone 5 has a 4-inch display with a resolution of 640 by 1136 pixels and 326 pi. So basically, the Nexus 4 has got a bigger screen, better resolution. As far as the battery life goes, the Nexus 4 gets around 15 hours talk time. It's got a 2100 mAh battery in it, and it's got standby time of 390 hours, while the iPhone 5 has about 10 hours talk time and 225 hours standby time. And having used both of them, it just seems that the Nexus 4 can conserve battery better when it's not being used, so battery life will go with the Nexus 4 too. Processor speeds are both good on these phones. The Nexus 4 has a 1500 megahertz quad-core processor on it, and the iPhone 5 has an Apple A6 dual-core 1300 megahertz processor, so obviously the quad-core processor is going to be the faster processor on both phones. As far as storage goes, the iPhone 5 has 16 gigabytes built into it, and the Nexus 4 also has 16 gigabytes built into it. So it's basically a tie there. What's unfortunate is that neither of these phones have an SD card, which kind of sucks. Cameras on these phones are basically the same. They both have 8 megapixel back cameras on them. They both do 1080 HP video recording. The Nexus 4, really the only thing, it has a 1.3 front-facing camera, and the iPhone 5 has a 1.2, so they're basically a tie when it comes to camera quality. The last thing really too is the interface on both phones. The iPhone 5 is using iOS 6 obviously, and the Nexus 4 is using Google's Android 4.2 Jelly Bean. Using either one is a good experience, but it just seems with the Nexus 4 you can really take things deeper with personalization and app control. Obviously, it's just going to be a preference if you're used to using Android or iOS. So other than that, call quality, we're going to have to give call quality to the iPhone 5. It just, it's slightly better. It's not like a whole lot better, but it's definitely going to lean towards the iPhone 5 having a bit better call quality on it. So going through everything, I think it's pretty clear to us at least that the Nexus 4 really has raised the bar against the Apple and the iPhone 5. So, we just think the Nexus 4 is a very powerful phone, and it's half the price of the iPhone 5 too, which is huge. So the Nexus 4 is going to be our winner of this versus. Thanks for watching. Be sure to subscribe to our channel.